Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Shed of Dread, and let's get straight into the video. So, Wickes, which if you don't live in the UK are a massive DIY hardware shop. Their chief operating officer, well, not done himself a big favour, has he really? And I have bought stuff from Wickes. Wickes is a useful shop, but after this he can go and kiss my shiny ass if you really think I'm ever going to buy anything from Wickes again. So let's just get the general story out. There we go. Outrage as Wickes' boss, well, he's not actually the boss, it's the chief operating officer, but in any case, it says trans critical shoppers are not welcome in our stores, sparking a backlash from Elon Musk, Sharon Davis, and claims that this is the DIY chain's Bud Light / Target / Call of Duty moment. Wickes' chief operating officer says trans voices must be amplified in business. No, they shouldn't. They have the same level of voice as everybody else. He labelled those who disagree with him as bigots and are not welcome in the store. Well, don't worry, mate, because we're not going to. The comments have been blasted by Elon Musk and swimmer Sharon Davis. DIY giant Wickes is facing furious boycott campaign and tumbling share prices. I'll show you in the live share prices in a moment. After his chief operating officer said shoppers with trans-critical views are bigots who are not welcome in our stores anyway. It gets worse, but let's not worry about it. Wickes is one of the largest suppliers of home improvement products. Controversy carried a float at Brighton Pride last year with the slogan "No LGB without the T." It's the T that's destroying the LGB, to be honest. Yesterday, Fraser Longdon, the firm's chief operating officer, took part in a trans summit hosted by the Pink News and sponsored by EY. Mr. Longdon, which is this one down here, which we'll watch the video in a minute. Well, actually, no, we won't. We won't give it much more than this. I don't think I'm ever going to change some of Bigots' minds. I'm never going to win that argument with them. We are doing the Pride float to showcase support for the community. Well, you're not. And the simple truth of the matter is we've got to a stage in the world now where people have just had enough of having things rammed down their throat. His comments provoked a furious backlash online as Wickes' share price is currently down. And let's have a look. It says 4.25%. It's actually 4.20%. This is live. Let's see if we can get the live data to come up. And, you can piss off if you think I'm paying for it. So it's 4.20. So the share prices has dropped. It's slightly rallied. There's the video. There's the twat. There's Wickes. Mr. Longman said that most of the population is sort of slightly ignorant but mostly kind position. So basically, he's named 90% of the British public as ignorant. Responding to threats of a boycott, he added, the other 10%, they're just hot air and they will go and buy a tin of paint in their nearest place to them. Yeah, but that's 10%. In his current environment, mate, you can't afford that. And that's going to go up now. Because if you're running your stupid dumbass mouth off, that's going to go up even more. People are already starting to cancel their kitchen orders with you. And this is all your fault. That might have been us before, it might not be us afterwards, and equally, if they do not come in and buy a tin of paint and behave that way, they're not welcome in the stores anyway. Go fuck yourself, dickwad. You have no right to tell us where we can go and buy our paint, not based on anything else, dickhead. Mr. Long started his career as an assistant store manager at Wilkinson's before moving on to Staples and then B&Q, where he spent 14 years right to become the head of HR with a seat on the executive committee. Yeah, I wonder how many people lost their jobs because of this knobhead being in charge of HR. He joined Wickes in 2014 and in 2023 has probably fucked it over. But in any case, we'll carry on. Olympic swimmer Sharon Davis, who has campaigned for the rights of women and girls in sport, and not just that, has criticised Mr. Longdon's comments. She tweeted, so Wickes thinks that anyone in the UK that thinks a biological female deserves fair and safe sport is a bigot. Yeah. That's an awful lot of mums, dads, grandparents, brothers, and of course females who will be taking their bigoted business elsewhere. Absolutely. James Esses, a trainee child therapist, who was thrown off his university degree for holding gender-critical views. Now, they're not gender-critical views. He's holding biological views. Yeah, male, female, end of. Nothing else. Get over yourselves. Said these offensive, divisive, and discriminatory remarks are absolutely an outrage. I wonder how many of the majority of Wickes' customers will feel knowing its senior management holds them in such disdain, which he clearly does. Then Twitter owner Elon Musk reacted to Mrs. East's tweet with simple exclamation marks. Campaigner Gary Powell wrote, "Let's hope Wickes now gets the Bud Light moment it so richly deserves. His arrogance, irresponsible, authoritarian, cynical capitalism at its worst." Mr. Powell's comment follows news the beer chain Bud Light sales have dropped 25.7% after it hired trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney, who had no previous link to the products, in an ad campaign. And here's the tweets that have all been up. Literally stripped my daughter's room to redo her 13th birthday. Absolutely need everything fitted wardrobe. I think Boycott. They're going to go elsewhere. The board of Wickes need to get their heads out of their bums and make clear that if they stand by Chief Operating Officer Francis, well, they've sent a letter out telling people what to do. I'll put it on Twitter. I'll see if I can get it up while we're chatting. So basically, Wickes' groups, they're starting to. It's going down. It's going back a bit more. But the simple truth of the matter is, as he says, a PR director said, it's not the right way to go about it. He said, "I really cannot understand their approach, for this is what their core audience just cannot relate. Because your core audience, in hope you can draw a completely new audience in who haven't been exposed before, doesn't make sense." And we've seen this, haven't we? We've seen this where, not in just like shops and goods, but we've seen this in fandoms where they go out of their way to alienate the main core audience as much as they can, and then scream and wonder why they failed. Not giving any case. This is more onto. Yeah, there we go. Wickes has been approached for comment. The hardware. I'm not going on. Dylan, that's a US thing, and I'm not rich. But I wouldn't. I'll be honest. If you drink a beer with the word light in it, you really need to have a strong, hard look at yourself. Any case, the hardware company took part in last year Bright Spot with a parade floats featuring the poster, "There's no LGB without the T." Bullshit. The words are emblazoned over a pink and white transgender flag with strapline, "We stand with our trans siblings now and forever" underneath it. But Wickes' campaign sparked a heated debate with campaigners on both sides waiting to share their views. Activist and friend of J.K. Rowling, Alison Bailey, tweeted, "To be clear, this is Wickes promoting unlawful discrimination against lesbians, gays and bisexuals and making our rights conditional on supporting the other group." Exactly right. And no offence. The one thing we have to get our listeners to remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important and something that you really, we all need to remember. This isn't all trans people. This is not all gay people. This is not all bisexual people. This is not all lesbians. This is a tiny little minority who are demanding their acceptance. My favourite line I love them to shout out is, "Trans rights are human rights." Yet when you ask them what rights are being impinged upon, silence, or block, or a death threat, bigot, whatever. But they never answer the question. Yeah? Everybody has the same rights in this country, in England, and in most of the Western world. So what rights do you want? You see, there's always been transgender people, way back. And I will always stand with anyone. If you want to talk about how you're being treated, in a Middle Eastern country, where if you're any of these things, you're usually picked up and thrown off the top of the tallest building and killed, then I'll stand with you, because that's wrong. I did stand with people when they were fighting for their rights. They should be able to get married if they so desire. They should be able to have the same equal rights, and you've got that. You wanted to be just treated like everybody else. You've got that. But now that's not good enough. Now everybody has to abide by you, or we're bigots. Banned from shops. All these sort of things. And that's not acceptable. It really isn't acceptable, but we have to be very careful. It's very easy, and we've seen it 1,000 times before, and I'm sure we'll see it again, not to tear or even tar everybody with the same brush. It's not everybody. It's these tiny, pathetic, narcissistic arseholes who ruin it for everybody else. I know plenty of gay people, trans people, lesbians, bisexual people myself, and none of them like what this is happening, because this is actually sending their rights back, and it is. It's generating hate to all, when in reality The hate should be just to those people who seem to think that this is the right thing to do, and to vilify, attack, and destroy people because they dare have a difference of an opinion. You are allowed to be and do whatever you want within the realms of the law, but you have no right to force people to accept what you are. They don't have to do that, as much as you don't have to accept what they are. Common courtesy and decency demands that you pay people, I teach my children to do, which is to treat everybody how you wish to be treated yourself. But once you begin to attack people, once you begin to force your ideology upon people, then you cannot be surprised when there's a pushback. And the pushback is real. The turning point is here. You've had your Pride Month for long enough. It's no longer what it was originally about, and I never agreed with Pride Month. In any case, you can't say the statement, we want to be treated like everybody else, and then demand a month to celebrate the fact that you're different. The logic and the hypocrisy of that I never understand. And the same with all these companies coming out and saying all this, and putting the rainbow flag on their logo for a month. They don't care. They're not interested. Yeah, and what people like Mr. Longdon or Langdon, whatever his stupid name is, has to realise, just like Bud Light did Target and Call of Duty, you can't demand or ban people from stuff just because you don't like their ways and their views. It's not acceptable, and it never was. Any case, that's my thoughts on it. I'm never going to Wickes again, which is a shame because I've done a lot of housework in my house. All the stuff in the shed, the cupboards and that were all bought and made from Wickes. No longer. I'll be going somewhere else. I'll go into even though my local hardware store is probably slightly more expensive, I'm going to give them my support, and not to someone who demands that I'm not, or says that I'm not welcome in his shop because I don't agree with these stupid, pathetic little views. Right then, with that, I'm done. As you can see at the top now, my Facebook and Twitter pages. If you enjoyed this, you can always do the following, which is like, and you could share, you could subscribe. When you subscribe, there's a little thing that says ding that bell and select it all, and you will get notifications that I've done in the video, unless of course YouTube turn it off. And with that, there's just one thing left for you to do, and that is get out of my shed.